Okay, hello YouTube, my name is Garrett Robinson. Welcome to my show Vloganovel on my channel Vloganovel, where to the surprise of no one, I vlog novels. This is the show where I live create books from beginning to end, everything from cover design, the outlining process, writing the first draft, editing, formatting for publication, and making it available for sale wherever ebooks are sold, from Amazon to Nook, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, the iBookstore, and everywhere else. And today we are continuing the outlining process for Darkfire. We are nearing the end of the first pass at our outline. We're in episode 6 out of 8, so hopefully we can get done with episode 6 today, maybe even episode 7, if we're good boys and girls, and then we could wrap up the episode 8 outline in the next episode. Then, of course, we're going to go back through and we're going to revise our outline before we actually start writing the book, but you know, every little bit helps. An hour a day, man, I'm telling you, gets your books done. A couple of different things. This is the third book in the Nightblade volumes. The first volume is, of course, the volume Nightblade, which is on Amazon and everything else. Second book is this one right here. It's Mystic. Look at that beautiful cover. How nice is that? You can get signed copies of that book as well as all of my other print books in the link below the video, in the video description. As well as find my website, where if you sign up for my email list, you get my book Rebel Yell for free. So, you know, can't beat that price. What else? Oh, yeah, if you want to contribute to this and my other YouTube channels, which of course are all provided for free, there's a little eye at the top right corner of the screen right about there. And if you click on that, you can give a small one-time gift with fan funding, which is kind of like a little tip jar and always appreciated. Or you can become a patron through patreon.com, and everything is wonderful when you do that. You get all kinds of exclusive behind-the-scenes access. You get to see behind-the-scenes videos, and if you become a patron for $5 a month, you get every book that I publish for free, including this one, Darkfire, that we're working on right now. So, all of that being said, let's get into the outline. Like I said, we're working on episode 6. Episode 5 is already broken down into chapters, right? Yes. Okay, good. And those are rough chapters. We'll probably expand those a little bit more when we go back through the outline, but maybe not. We'll see. Oh, good one. I just had to add a little something to episode 5. Basically, Jor-El establishing that there is a back way into the castle that he knows about, because Mystic Fortresses are kind of always designed the same way. So he knows that and leads them in, because that's going to be important here in episode 6. Okay, so that's a lot of episode 6 story? Oh, crap, I haven't been keeping an eye on the comments. Sorry. Hi, Kristen Stevens. So that's a lot of episode 6 story. I'm actually just not sure if it's going to be 5 chapters worth. But let's paste it in and see what we've got. It's easy for me to come up with what I think should happen during the course of an episode, but oftentimes you'll start breaking it down and you just sort of realize this is not enough for 5 chapters, because you go into like too much detail, and then it's a lot of detail, but what actually occurs, like most of the detail is for you, for your own mind. But when you list it out into chapters, you realize that what actually occurs isn't very much at all. Yeah, see, this is only 4 chapters worth. Sorry, biting my nails blatantly on stream. Sorry about that. I know that's super gross. I'm a nervous guy. I have nervous habits. Sorry. At least I'm not picking my nose. I will try not to do that on stream. I'll try not to take my shirt off. Try not to write in my boxers. These are all things I do when I'm writing, just so you know. I'll try not to swing from the ceiling fan. By my ankles. Naked. In a tutu. Naked except for the tutu. Kristen says, I have that problem a lot with plotting where something is revealed and there's a lot of important stuff there, but knowledge isn't plot and there isn't enough action. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know. It's like I know that I always talk about Lord of the Rings, but I know more about Lord of the Rings than any other book series in the world. So bear with me. And it's like if Tolkien was talking like a scene from Lord of the Rings, like when they first arrive at the Silver Woods where they meet Galadriel, Lothlorien. The description of the woods is multiple chapters. Could be multiple, many chapters. But the description could fill a chapter in itself. Like, if you just describe the chapter, and if you just describe the woods and what happened in their history and who lives there and all that sort of thing. But if nothing actually happened when they first arrived at Lothlorien, it'd be a really shitty chapter. It'd be a really bad book chapter. So Grissom says, keep making me want to bite my nails, and I'm 3 months clean on that. So yeah, sorry. It's like inviting an alcoholic out to a bar. I apologize. All right. Let's see. 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 Okay, that's chapter 5, and that's a kick-ass chapter 5. If anybody doesn't turn the page after reading that chapter, they don't have a goddamn soul. So, there we go. We'll add that on to the end of the episode paragraph just so we can do that. Good. The episode 6 paragraph is massive. That is huge, which is fine. It's a lot of detail. So, there you go. All right, we're going to get cracking on episode 7. We should have enough time to do it. I have to take a quick AFK. I will be right back. So I just want to say really quickly that I've been thinking a lot about book 4 in the series, which does not have a title yet. I have to work out a lot of the details in it. But book 4 is the first time that we're going to have an actual romantic subplot. Because, spoiler alert, but as you will have already seen in the outlining process of Darkfire, Chet shows up again at the end of the book. Why did I put my headphones on? I don't need my headphones. So Chet shows back up at the end of Darkfire, and he's in the group in book 4, and he and Lauren grew up wishing that they could get married. So now that he shows back up, stuff's gonna happen. And the main plot of the book, well, here's the thing. You could call the Nightblade series young adult. There's no profanity. There's some violence, not extravagant violence. There's no explicit sexual content. There will continue not to be explicit sexual content. But I feel like a lot of young adult books have heavy romantic subplots. And so I don't know if having a romantic subplot at all is going to make the work make people be more like, oh, like how young adulty or whatever. But like, I really don't want it to be like, here's the deal. The romantic subplot in The Hunger Games doesn't bother me at all. There are moments where it's a little bit like, oh, for fuck's sake. But very, very few and far between, as opposed to, you know, the romantic subplot of Divergent, which is just it's just not good. I don't know if you've read Divergent, but it's not good. And of course, the romantic subplot of Twilight isn't the romantic subplot, it's the romantic plot. It's the plot of the story. The entire story is a bad romance. So, obviously, we're going to try to go in a much more Hunger Gamesy direction. But basically, just like discussing in advance, I'm only talking about this because I'm very excited about it, and I've been thinking about it a lot, and it's going to be very important. I think it's very important in the grand scheme of things, and in the book as a whole, etc., etc. I don't know that it's not important to the story. It's just important to me to like handle it well and do it the way that I want to do it. And basically, after they get involved, Lauren is just kind of going to be, she's just kind of going to realize that Chet is a very simple guy, and not necessarily in a good way, not in a really bad way, but just in a way that she doesn't actually really want. He was a fine prospect for a husband when she had resigned herself to living an unremarkable life in a village, and she was going to be married off to some guy she didn't like anyway, and she was like, Chet would be so much better than that because he's a good guy and we're friends and this, that, and the other thing. But now she's the goddamn Nightblade, you know? And he's very not that. Basically, he's not going to be enough for her. He's not going to be epic enough, you know? And maybe she'll never find somebody that epic. Like, does she really want to be like someone's wife? No, not really, and definitely not Chet's if she was going to be somebody's wife. So she's going to, you know, kind of be like, after they're together for a little bit, she's going to kind of be like, you know, she's going to kind of get angsty. Not angsty, but she's going to want out. She's going to be like, her affection is going to dwindle and everything like that, and then eventually she's going to break it off. And you get, like, I want to use their relationship to explore a lot of things, like, not in these terms, obviously, because this is not a thing back then. Sorry, it looks like my volume's really high on the volume meter. I'm just going to adjust that really quick. Not that he's going to put it in these terms, but Chet is basically going to be like, you like are totally friend zoning me, you know? And she's going to be like, fucking excuse me? Because, you know, that whole friendship, you know, thing is bullshit. It's like, yeah, I was interested in you. I didn't friend zone you. We've been together, for a bit, and then I decided that I didn't want you anymore. And it's like, well, you kind of made a promise, da 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 da, da, and just dismantle all of that friend zoney bullshit that I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of teenagers, especially teenage boys, can get into, where it's like, we've been friends our whole life and you always said that you wanted to da 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 and everything, and it's like, yeah, but I don't anymore. And so I am I under fucking contractual obligation? So I'm very excited about it. That's all I'll say about it right now. Obviously you'll see it develop in the book series itself and in Vloganovel as we go through, and I'm sure I'll discuss those plot elements more and how it's all going to work. But I'm just very excited about it. I don't think I'm going to change the face of romance in young adult books. Not that this is really a young adult book, but it kind of is. But I'm not looking to like shape the future of romance in young adult. I just want to do something that is different, that dismantles a lot of the really toxic bullshit opinions and views that people have on romance and, sex and gender dynamics and all that sort of shit. So I'm very excited to do it. By the way, hi Wakil, in the comments. I saw you, but I was in the middle of preaching from my pulpit. So there you go. Kristen says, my romantic subplot is as asexual of a romantic subplot as it gets. It's lovely. I can't wait to finally dedicate some time to this book. That's awesome. I can't wait to see that. Lauren and Chet's romance is not going to be asexual. In fact, pretty early on, they're going to be typical teenagers. Not every teenager, of course, but they're going to be typical teenagers. Which again, there's not going to be any explicit sexual content. There's going to be sexual content. Not explicit. It's just all behind closed doors, but there's going to be some closed doors. See, I feel like we should be in episode 8 right now, not episode 7. I feel like the end of episode 6 should be the end of episode 7, and I need more story. Which sucks, because I don't like adding something just for the sake of adding something. You know what? I'm just going to keep going on the story as I think it needs to be, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to find out what can contribute to the theme, the story, the et cetera, so... Yeah, I mean, like, basically what I'm trying to say is that it's not erotica. I'm not going to describe the sex scenes. There's not going to be actual sex scenes, but the two of them will be involved, and it's going to be happening. Oh no, Wakil in the comments says, so are they going to magically not get pregnant? They're going to have access to the herb that humanity had access to for thousands of years. I'm going to have to look up what it's called. But there was an herb that was essentially like essentially the best form of birth control humanity's ever had. It was much more effective than the birth control pills we have right now. And the Romans literally fucked it out of existence. The Romans used so much of the herb that they made it go extinct. No joke, actually happened. What are you going to do? We don't have it anymore. It was like, do all you want, just do the do, let fluids flow where they will, make a little herbal tea, drink the herbal tea, you're all good. Nothing gonna happen. No baby. And the Romans got it on so much that they made the herb go extinct. True story. What was it called? Silphium. That's what it's called. Silphium is the herb in question. Sorry, that just was nagging at me. Silphium, now extinct plant of the genus Ferula, perhaps a variety of giant fennel. Demand for its contraceptive use was reported to have led to its extinction in 3rd or 2nd century BC. The climate of the Maghreb, where it grows, has been drying over the millennia, and desertification may also have been a factor. In other words, the lands where it was grown became desert-like. Kristen said, damn Romans, I'd use another word instead of damn, but I've already been scolded for family friendly. No, this show is adults. Adult content. We can say fuck. We can say pretty much anything we want. Yeah, Silphium is what it's called. Silphium. Okay, so I do have episode 7 and 8. Kristen says, "Aw, crap, had I known that would have been an awesome pun. Heh fucking Romans." Yep, fucking Romans, man. Okay, so there's episode 7. Dooby-doo, dooby-doo. Sorry, I'm getting little dings from my co-hosts of the Author Gaming Show. We are going to be doing our weekly video game show, playing together, playing with ourselves, you might say, on Saturday night. Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, on my other YouTube channel, Garrett's Games. I have 3 YouTube channels. I don't know if you know that, but... no, sorry, it's not going to happen live on my YouTube channel. It's going to happen live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/FortInBuff. 3 words, Fort, In, and Buff, all joined together into one word, on Twitch. And then it will go up, VOD on Garrett's Games YouTube channel. Okay. Hey, Nika. Nika, hi. Hmm. Kristen says, "Sorry to keep interrupting, no problem, but have you ever thought of putting together a short ebook of how you outline?" I've actually been thinking a lot about that because I provide a whole lot of nonfiction content, whether it's my Nuts and Bolts video series or my video tutorials and blah 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 blah. There's really no reason I couldn't make ebooks that would explain it all, and maybe make some money from it that way. With everything that I've got going on, the idea of taking the time to do that is a little bit daunting, but I might do it anyway. So we'll see. I mean, I read an interesting thing recently, actually a client's book that I edited, and basically he was like, he said that a lot of people have a viewpoint that's a viewpoint that I very much have. I'm like, why would I write a book on how to outline or how to write a story? Because all I do is I use the techniques that I've learned from others. And it's like, a lot of people think that, but if you are able to distill certain information from a bunch of different sources and turn it into a formula that works for you, that is an amalgamation of a bunch of different data that has some new data that you've learned from using the advice and information of others, and if you create that as your own formula and your own technique while referencing everything that you learned from. In other words, I wouldn't just use data from Save the Cat, for example, which is one of my favorite storytelling books ever. I would say, in Save the Cat, he talks about this, and then I would expand on those theories, and then I would go, in Write, Publish, Repeat, Johnny and Sean talk about this, and expand upon those theories. That is a perfectly valid method of writing your own nonfiction work. And in fact, if you read Save the Cat and you read Write, Publish, Repeat, that's what they do. They're like, in this older book by this other person, he says blah, and then they expand upon that theory, and it's like, you have to get this, you have to get over this disconnect of seeing what your favorite nonfiction authors do and thinking, oh, but I'm a reader. That's not me. I don't write books like that, etc., etc. It's dumb. Honestly, it's pretty dumb. So anyway, long story short, yes, I am going to start doing some nonfiction stuff on how I am able to do what I do as a nonfiction author. Wakil says, I heard you were co-authoring. How do you feel about it versus writing solo? Is it ironically harder? Actually, my first series that quote-unquote got big and made me think, hey, I could actually be successful at this, was co-written. And then that was the Realm Keepers series, which was my best-selling series until I started writing Nightblade. Long story short, because I do have my hour of time just ran out, so I have to wrap this up. Long story short, it is much easier to write a book co-authored. It is much harder working with a co-author, only in the sense that you have to coordinate schedules, you have to do your paperwork correctly, you guys have to do contracts and everything, like not just because you don't trust the other person, but just for good business sense, for good due diligence. You have to work out agreements, you have to decide who's going to actually take care of the publishing and the marketing and the this and the that. Then when you get paid each month, you have to do your accounting. When I get paid for Nightblade, I get paid for Nightblade. When I get paid for Realm Keepers, I have to then go, okay, take it, divide it, send it to him, fill out tax forms. There's a lot more paperwork and administration that goes into co-authoring, but the writing process, fucking A, so much easier if you can find somebody who you can actually work well with together. And Zach and I work great together. And speaking of which, we're getting back to Realm Keepers in May. We're going to be starting work on Realm Keepers Book 3, which is tentatively going to be called Stoneleaf, but maybe not. Um, Okay, I don't know if anything just happened on the stream or if it cut out for a second there, but it cut out. My Chrome crashed here, but it looks like the stream is actually working, so we're all good. Looking back down at the comments. Crap, there is a comment, but I can't see it. Okay, Nika says, "How did you come up with the idea for the series? Was it something you've been thinking about for a long time, or something that suddenly came to you?" I actually did a vlog about that, which you can look at on my main YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/thegarrettrobinson. But in a nutshell, I've been planning an epic fantasy series for a long time, many years, and I have been world building, developing the 4 branches of magic, the 9 kingdoms, the High King, the politics of the world, etc., etc. But I wasn't really putting as much effort into it as I thought that maybe I should be if I really wanted to get it done in any kind of time frame. And last year I was feeling a little despondent because Rebel Yell took me 6 months to write, whereas a normal book usually takes me 1 or 2 months. And so I wasn't producing anything, I wasn't publishing anything, so I felt very unproductive because I wasn't unproductive because I was working on Rebel Yell, and I still think Rebel Yell's the best thing I've ever written, but I wasn't producing anything, if you get what I mean. So my wife was actually the one who spotted that, and Megan was like, "Sweetie, you haven't published anything in forever." I was like, "Oh, that's a good point." And she was like, like the ancient writers of yore in the golden age of science fiction and everything like that, they were publishing thousands of words every single week, and you used to be doing that too when you were very, very happy. Maybe you just need to get back to that. And I was like, my wife's a genius, because she is. So I started Nightblade as a series that happens within the world. Like, the epic fantasy series is going to be an epic fantasy series. I'm using Nightblade as a tool because the story is so much more personal. It's not about kingdoms and great wars and battles and all-powerful dark wizards and, the good guys and whatever. It's about Lauren. And she meets people from all of these factions, and each of those people is a lens by which to explore the greater ideas in the world. So Nightblade, while I actually really like the series now, started out as essentially a way to world build for the actual epic fantasy series that I'm going to write, which is weird. Okay, that is the episode 7 outline done. Honestly, guys, I really want to keep working on this. I have to get onto my other things. I said I was going to do 1 episode of Vloganovel a day. If I get more productive on my other things, maybe I will be able to do more stuff in the more episodes of Vloganovel per day. Honestly, I'm excited enough about Darkfire that I just want to work on this all day, every day. I can't afford to do that right now, but that's a good sign. When you feel that way about a book that you're writing, you know that you're doing it right and that your audience is probably going to enjoy it. Maybe not as much as you do, but they are probably going to enjoy it. Anyway, that's going to be the end for this episode of Vloganovel. I do these every single weekday. Might start doing the weekend soon too, but for now it's every weekday. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, you can pick up signed copies of all of my books in the description below this video, as well as ebook copies as well, of course. If you have already read the books or haven't read the books and don't particularly want to, but you do want to support the YouTube activities, whether it's this channel, my other two channels, top right corner of the screen right here, there's a little eye icon. You click on that, you can give a fan funding gift, which is a small one-time donation, like a little tip jar thing, very much appreciated, or you can become a patron at patreon.com, where you get all kinds of extra behind-the-scenes goodness, videos that nobody else gets to see, photos that nobody else gets to see. I'm going to start sharing things from Darkfire with my patrons, like the map of the world. Gonna give that out to patrons pretty soon. Things like that. It's all going to be very cool. And if you become a patron for $5 a month, you get every book that I publish before anybody else gets to read it. So that's a cool thing as well. I've been Garrett Robinson. This has been a Vloganovel. I will see you Monday latest, but probably over the weekend sometime. We'll see. Bye!